I was featured on the very first Tater Talks. What's up, everybody? Yeah, the wife and I ran some errands yesterday. Traffic was crazy. It is farm show week here in central Pennsylvania. It is the biggest indoor agricultural event in the United States, and people come from all over the place. And yes, the traffic definitely proves that. So yeah, I was out running around doing all kinds of stuff. So today we're going to run through some things. And yes, I was featured on one of the segments of the first ever Tater Talks. But first we have Mikey. That's right, Cheap Off-Grid Living. Mikey, I don't know. His videos are kind of, sometimes they're just a little bit pointless. I think he just makes a video just to get one out. He's basically screaming at the snow, and then laughing at himself a whole lot. Says everybody has an agenda. Yeah, well, I mean, come on. Talks about coming back from the Bahamas to Arizona and it's snowing and everything. Yeah, I don't know. It was kind of like a throwaway video, in my opinion. But yeah, really nothing going on. Then we have the RV Odd Couple. They got their channel back. I don't know if you remember, but about a month ago, I talked about they were one of the other channels. It was happening pretty regularly that people were getting hacked and getting their channels taken away. And yeah, they finally got it back after about a month. They fell prey to the sponsor deal. Yep. Click on the link, do this, like kind of like Mikey, and poof, within seconds, everything was gone. So they had to go through all the rigmarole and the steps to get their channel back, unlike Mikey did not. But yeah, so that's Adventures Over 50, Life Redesigned, RV Odd Couple, Mikey, and yeah, so they're just boom, 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 boom. Now Tracy's hers wasn't because of that. Her whole life got hacked. She had her ID stolen, her identity stolen. But yeah, the other ones like Mikey and them, they clicked on something to get some free shit or get a sponsor deal, and yeah, zapped everything. Email, YouTube channel, anything. But anyway, the RV Odd Couple, they got their channel back, and so they are back. All right, so now I want to talk about somebody that I mention once in a while, but I really don't talk about him, and that is Rusty 90210 or whatever his name is. I forget. Number 78 something. I forget. But anyway, Rusty, he got a new RV, so you better go over and check it out if you want to see it and you're interested in, because by next month that baby's going to be going.
Here comes Bunky. It's a little breezy out here, so you're going to hear some wind and the deal. But I guess he knows where to put it. I don't know. He's bringing it right on in. Yeah, it's about 1:30 p.m. Saturday afternoon, and here it comes, babe.
There you go. There is Rusty and Bunky, his new little RV. And this guy is worse than Tim. I mean, I think that actually that's who Tim tries to emulate. I think he wants to be Rusty. But Rusty buys something and he's got it for sale before the fucking paperwork's even done. I mean, the ink is still wet. His signature isn't even dry yet, and he's selling that shit. I mean, everything from property to homes to RVs and vehicles. My man just buys and sells and buys and sells and moves and buys and sells. So yeah, I guess that's what keeps Rusty going and keeps him going, I guess. But again, if you want to see what his new little Bunky RV, you better get over here, because that shit's gonna be gone before you before you sneeze. All right, now we have Scott's Campervan. He has some water pump issues, not in his van, in his sink. He's been going through two. He's only had his van for in this build and in this van for about a year, and he's already gone through two water pumps. So he's trying to figure out which one to get, and he goes through all that and ripping the old one out and putting the new one in, and figuring out which one he wants to invest in, because hey, can't be just replacing water pumps all the damn time. So go over and check out Scott and check him out and see what he was doing. He said everything went awry when he ran out of coffee, and that's probably what happened. Scott ran out of coffee, so everything just went to shit. All right, as we have been talking about, it's that time. It's Quartzite. Quartzite is coming alive. That's right. Vendors and food trucks, they're filling up all the spots, and traffic is getting busy. And of course, the RTR is well underway. And yeah, that kicked off on Saturday. Bob made his traditional opening speech. That all started after the woman's RTR. Still haven't seen too much about that. I guess that's going to be kept top secret. But yeah. Yeah, so there you go. Quartzite is coming alive. Lots of videos, again, lots of people with their opinions on it's not as busy, it's kind of busy, but yeah, it looks like it's that time, and you'll be seeing all kinds of Quartzite videos soon, I am sure. Now, speaking of Quartzite, we have Wandering Jeepsy. She did a little video like many others, but she gave her opinion about the toxicity of Quartzite. She did have a positive and realistic view of the situation, in my opinion. And, well, of course, I'm going to say that because she kind of said almost what I said. It's basically there's people there, so, and there's lots of people. So where there's people, there's shit's going to happen. It's no more than anywhere else, maybe even a little less than some places. But yeah, she kind of looks at it and she basically says, you know, if you stay away from places, she didn't say the spot, but if you stay away from places like the spot and you avoid the big crowds and the areas where everybody clumps together, which there is, you know, like the LTVAs and stuff, when you go right inside, everybody kind of stays there. But anyway, yeah, she said, if you just stay away from all the big crowds, and she actually does what most people say. There's lots of room. Go somewhere. And that's what she says. Stay away from the bullshit and you won't have no bullshit.
So if we had decided to camp in one of the LTVAs or one of the camping areas that were really, really packed and everything, we would have to deal with the partying. We would have to deal with maybe theft and stuff like that. But we're smart.
but they're smart. That's right. Yeah, she's out with nobody. There's nobody around. So yeah, a little small group of them, and they're hanging out, and they don't have to deal with none of the nonsense, because if you don't put yourself in the middle of it, you won't have none. Now, she does say, she doesn't say by name, but we all know who she's talking about. And she said that this came all about because of a bunch of her followers and her auntie saw the Tater video. So she had to respond to the Tater video and give her opinion on the toxicity of Quartzite and, you know, what he said. Speaking of Tater, today was the debut of Tater Talks. And me, I was featured in one of the segments. Yes, me. One of the Tater segments. He had everything broken down in segments, but yes, he had to talk about me. There it is. Look. Well done. Well done. I have to applaud your work. Well done. My biggest complaint, though, is that this is a tater diet. That's not my diet. That's not the way I eat. There's pizza, Bud Light, Cheetos. No. That looks more like you just stuck in my head on Tater's body in front of his table for dinner. I mean, you could have had me eating a cow or something, you know, but yeah, that's not my diet. But other than that, well done. I applaud the effort. And I got a good laugh out of it. Way to go, Tater. Now, I must say, I do feel honored that of all the channels that talk about Tater and all the people that say stuff, I'm truly honored that I was chosen to be a subject of one of his segments. Thank you. And the positive is that now when the Tater supporters come over and say, you need to stop because Eric never talks about you, I can refer to this. So thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. I don't remember, however, saying the things that he was referring to, but you know, I mean, come on, I say enough stuff. You could have used actual things that I said. I don't know. Maybe I did, but I don't remember saying that he's not a nomad and all this other stuff that he was saying that I say, but okay, that's okay. But anyway, Yeah, it was a good little thing. Good little thing. I I appreciate it. I appreciate it. And the other thing is that the base. Tater wants a studio like mine. Come on. You know he's going to set up a studio in a shed. He's going to go get a dedicated shed. He's going to plunk it somewhere if he continues stuff like this. And he is going to get a studio. You just wait and see. Even the Tater knows that I have a nice studio space and I have lots of good equipment. Even the Tater knows that. And he'll try to emulate some of that. I can guarantee you. And even though the basement comment is old and played out and everybody, I'm in your mommy's basement, it was a nice touch. It was a nice touch. Being in the basement. I enjoyed it. That was a nice touch. And hopefully that little mention will drive some people over to boost my algorithm. All right, enough about me. Tater Talks. He broke it down into segments. Let's see what he had. He had the food stuff. He had food segment where he talked about stuff. He had the Tater Turd, I believe he called it. That was RV mishaps. He had some tech stuff, due to, dealing with not just tech, like, but, off-grid tech and RV tech. Let's see, Tater Acres update and info about what's been going on, stuff that didn't make it on the videos, shit from the cutting room floor or stuff he just didn't ramble on and on about. Then he had a little segment about channels that he likes. I guess little Tater mentions. And of course it was a guy voicing 4 cats. Woo. He mentioned Kevin and and what he did with the Yorkies and yeah, Tater's all ecstatic because this guy makes a living talking over his cats. But anyway, then there was some Tater trivia. Now Tater trivia. Now I'm going to give him props here. Hang on to if you're standing up, sit down or hold on to something because Tater trivia is kind of smart because he's asking questions and he's directing people back to his older videos, and they're going to have to go back and watch the videos unless they can remember, which I doubt. So they're going to go back to watch the older videos so they can answer these trivia questions. That's pretty crafty, Tater. I'm going to have to hand it to you. That's really, really good idea. That's pretty smart. And Tater entices the people with some sticker packages and other prizes and bullshit. But we know in the past that people actually bought stickers and never got them and all kinds of other stuff. So we'll see how that all turns out. But that was a smart idea, sending people back to click on your old. That was pretty crafty. I got to hand it to the Tater for that one. Now, in the mishaps portion, Eric talks about CDLs, getting CDLs and the qualifications and all that stuff. He mentions that, to be a big time trucker and get paid, you had to go through all these qualifications for brakes and this and that and that. And then he said that when he turns 65, he can just go and drive anything.
3-foot semi 18-wheeler truck with air brakes and everything. The amount of education and training that you have to be able to physically, legally drive that on the road. Whereas when I turned 65 years old, without any training or let's just say I've only driven a pickup truck in my life, I can walk into a RV dealership and I can buy the biggest 44-foot diesel pusher with air brakes, the whole package, and literally drive it away with a regular driver's license and get right.
So that confused me. What does 65 have to do with anything? I mean, I remember Miranda the Marauder or whatever it was. Didn't he have a big old Class A that he just went in and went this and he drove it? He didn't need anything special. He didn't need all the stuff that he was talking about, did he? Doesn't he drive now currently a 40-foot bus with air brakes? He needs no requirements. And he's not 65 now, is he? Can someone please clear this up and tell me what the fuck he's talking about? When he turns 65, he can... I'm confused. You can go in right now, right? Again, I'm not sure what the 65 has to do with anything. As far as I know, anyone at any age can go buy a 40-foot diesel pusher, toss, give them the money sign thing. They'll toss you the keys and you have a good one. And there you go. I mean, and I've talked about that numerous times right here on this channel that, any old Joe Blow can just get in some big giant fucking 40-foot Class A, put a Blue Ox thing on the back, throw a Jeep on the back of that, and just cruise down the road. They don't have to take no test. They didn't have to back that thing up. They don't have to prove that they know anything about anything. They don't have to have any special endorsements. They just go. So what's this? I'm confused. The 65 thing just baffled me. But anyway, that was about it for the Tater Talks. It was okay, I guess. I don't know how this will go over with a lot of his viewers. He could gain new and different viewers, I guess, but it will take time to do that for everything to, switch over if that's going to happen. And then as far as Tater was talking, this is just step one in the big change. I wonder what the next item, the next change, the next whatever is going to be. I guess we'll have to stick around and see what the effects of the Tuesday format so far is on everything and see what happens next, what's coming along the pike next. And then all along, you got to remember that YouTube is a strange thing. It's real fickle especially when you've been on as long as Tater has. I mean, people weren't that happy when he stopped traveling and then went and did the Taterland. A lot of people are like, I signed on to watch you travel. I'm not here to watch you, play around in the Arizona desert. And then people lost interest when he did the bus build. They weren't into that either. I'm sure he gained some other people that were schoolies and wanted to see that, but I'm sure he lost some. I don't know. And now I know a lot of people are mentioning that they're not interested in watching a rerun of Taterland. We saw him, build the solar panels, get sheds delivered, make a driveway. It's been done, and again, not that long ago. So I'm just kind of curious of what's going to happen. And sure, it may appear as if the channel's doing okay or even well in some people's eyes. But if you think about it, that was mostly due to the drama surrounding the Quartzite incident that may or not have happened. According to him, it's a big nothing, but other people have their opinions and their evidence as well. And we all know something happened because he left with quickness. But anyway, it has to do with that and the Danny drama. So that's mostly where all that stuff come from. And of course, some are going to come over here and reference, well, he has 50,000 views. Of course he does. Again, that's mostly due to the drama. And for having 242,000 subs, 40 or 50 is a very small percentage. I mean, it's good numbers, but it's not that great for the amount of subs he has. So I guess as he makes all these changes and does these things, we'll see if Tater can keep his viewer base and gain off-grid and maybe even some schoolie groups to come over and watch. I don't know, because, I think people they signed on for his travel and everything. Sure, some stayed because they enjoy Tater and the kitties. And, but yeah, it's going to be interesting to watch either which way.
That's my opinion!
This is Blind Views, and that's the way I see it.
What we do here is go back.